everybody and welcome to my channel. Today I will be doing my first ever missing person / disappearance case. I'm not going to talk too much about myself. All I hope to do is bring some awareness and exposure to cases that may be cold or get the word out there in case someone who knows something can come forward. That being said, today we will be talking about Christina Calayca. Christina Calayca went on a camping trip August 5th, 2007 with her cousin and 2 church friends. On August 6th, 2007, Christina disappeared, never to be seen or heard from again. So let's give a little bit of a background on Christina. Her family and friends described Christina as mature, fun-loving, and a devoutly religious young woman. She attended George Brown College and earned a degree in early childhood education. At the time of this camping trip, Christina was working in a Catholic daycare and had expressed wishes to perform missionary work in the Philippines, eventually to become a teacher. Obviously, Christina was a very giving, nurturing, and warm, friendly spirit. She had a great heart. So let's talk about when this trip started and who was there, when they left, all of those details. So it was August 5th when Christina, her cousin Eddie, and 2 church friends drove 14 hours northwest to Rainbow Falls Provincial Park. The park itself is situated between Schreiber, Ontario, I apologize if I'm not saying that right, difficult word, and Rossport, Ontario. It's located just north of the Trans-Canada Highway through that portion of Ontario. From all accounts, Christina and her friends and her cousin were not experienced campers, but they wanted to get away on a fun trip. It's a beautiful park from what I've seen in pictures, but this was quite a ways to go for a group of people who aren't super experienced campers. If I was more inexperienced, I think I'd want to be a bit closer to home in case something went wrong, and maybe just in somewhat more familiar territory. That's just me. So August 5th, they arrived at about noon. They set up their campsite, they got settled in, they had something to eat, and decided that they really wanted to go for a nap because it was a 14-hour drive. So if they got there at noon, they would have had to have left the night before and driven through the night. So they all laid down, took a nap, but nobody set an alarm, so they slept right through until about 10:30 p.m. Everyone got up then at 10:30, decided to make a fire, have some snacks, and chat for a while until finally going back to sleep at about 4 a.m. the next morning of August 6th. They woke again at 6:30 a.m., where all 4 of them were just wide awake from having napped pretty much the entire day before, so they decided to get up and get their day started. Eddie and Christina went for a morning run, but somewhere along the way, Christina and Eddie split up as Eddie preferred to stay on the trail closer to the highway, whereas Christina wanted to go explore more of the park trails. Eddie was reportedly gone for about an hour before returning to camp, and they expected Christina to follow shortly behind. However, Christina never made it back to camp. The 3 searched for their friend for the next 7 hours throughout trails and the campsites, and after their 7-hour search, they decided to call the authorities and report her missing. Christina was last seen wearing a purple striped shirt, a blue hoodie, black pants, and white running shoes. Shortly after being reported missing to the authorities, the Ontario Provincial Police brought out 4 canine units, 3 helicopters, 2 fixed-wing aircrafts, as well as a float plane to search for Christina. For 17 days, 100 police officers and specially trained civilians searched for Christina. The OPP were sure that no foul play was involved and believed that she was attacked by a wild animal, specifically a bear. However, no bones, blood, clothing, or anything were found during their search. After the 17-day police search, with the helicopters, the aircraft, and the 4 canine units, the family launched several of their own private searches, with volunteers and cadaver dogs, each search very costly. Yet still nothing was found. In 2008, police again conducted another search of the area, and this time scaled cliffs surrounding the area. Finally, the family pulled together yet another team of volunteers and dogs, trained to detect human remains led by professionals, yet nothing was ever found. To this day, it is unknown what happened to Christina Calayca, so let's get to the theories. First theory believed to be the truth by the police is an animal attack. Initially, this theory held a lot of merit for me. Obviously, if you're in a provincial park and you're hiking alone, you want to usually hike in groups to scare off animals talking and making some noise. So it's entirely possible to me that she was attacked by a bear, most likely, and that her remains were scavenged or buried, discarded by other animals, which commonly happens. However, it is strange that she was going to stick to the park trails and yet no evidence of her being there was ever found, such as torn clothing, discarded water bottle or a backpack, anything that she had on her, and no sign of an attack was ever found. So ultimately, I guess what I'm saying is I don't think this is what happened. In fact, regarding the animal attack theory, an expert by the name of Dr. Stephen Herrero stated there are roughly 900,000 black bears in North America, and since 2000, there have been an average of only 2 black bear fatalities per year. That's important because black bears are the primary bear species prevalent in this area. The evidence does not match an animal attack. So again, unlikely that an animal attack was the cause, being that the numbers are so low. Another theory is that Christina ran away to begin a new life. I personally do not think this is the case, as Christina obviously was enjoying her life. She was working towards something she was passionate about. She had just earned her degree in early childhood education. She was working with children and planned in the future to do missionary work in the Philippines. So I don't believe that Christina would have created this elaborate camping trip and then to run away and start a new life when she clearly was enjoying the life that she had, and yeah, that's that. The third theory is misadventure, and that she had gotten lost and potentially succumbed to the elements. This theory is fairly likely, in my opinion. She could have become scared by an animal or something that forced her to run off the trail, and she could have become confused by which direction she should go back. Northern Ontario is a very, very big area, and this park is quite big. She could have easily wandered in the wrong direction for a long time, thinking that she was going back to where she had come from. Very easy to get turned around, especially since she wasn't particularly experienced with camping or hiking, anything like that, and probably did not know this area super well. Although, even if it's misadventure, it's still strange to me that no evidence of her was ever found, being that they had the 4 canine units that they had helicopters, they had, they heat-seeking radar, they were looking for her, and that nothing of her was ever found, not even a scrap of clothing. Nothing is a little strange. So overall, the misadventure does not explain to me how nothing was ever found of her, being that they did search for 17 days with hundreds of people, and they did come back and do another search with, they had cadaver dogs, and then initially they had the canine units. It's just really surprising to me that if it was an animal attack or a misadventure and she had gotten very lost, that nothing was ever found of her. You'd think that with all the searching they did and with all the equipment and people and professionals that they had, something would have been found to indicate that she had succumbed to the elements or she had been attacked by a wild animal. And last but not least is, of course, foul play. Could Christina have encountered an individual who potentially took her, kidnapped her? Her family and friends do state that she was a very caring and trusting person. She wanted to see the best in everyone. Initially, regarding foul play, I was curious about the people with Christina on the trip, even though that's horrifying to think of, that her cousin and 2 church friends may have done something. You just never know. I mean, who were these friends? How long had they been friends? There was time being that they split up and that Eddie was off somewhere else. So obviously you want to question the people that she was with. And it seemed a little strange to me that they waited 7 hours to report her missing. I suppose that's not super long, but Honestly, if it was me and we were not experienced and even a few hours had gone by where we couldn't justify why she hadn't come back or we couldn't justify that we hadn't found her yet, I would probably be calling the police sooner than that. Personally, that would be my decision. So all of the members in their little camping group were repeatedly interviewed and none of them were considered a suspect at the end of the day. So is it possible that Christina could have happened upon someone, maybe an opportunistic kidnapper, murderer, who, you know, maybe said, hey, I need some help, and of course she was ready to help, trusting. Maybe she just trusted the wrong person or tried to help the wrong person and it went horribly wrong. The foul play theory is strictly speculation, as the police have already stated that they don't believe that any foul play had taken place. I just wanted to put it out there because it's interesting to me that nothing was ever found, and I think that if it was an accident or an animal attack, that something would have been found. If foul play had happened, if someone took her or led her off, you know, they could make sure that nothing was ever found, more so than succumbing to the elements or an animal attack could have covered things up, right? I mean, people will cover things up, animals don't really do that. So yeah, it's strictly speculation, the foul play. However, it does make a lot of sense in that nothing was ever found. So that is all the information that I have regarding the disappearance of Christina Calayca. I've used various sources on the internet, public sources. I will link them below. If there's anything I've missed, please feel free to drop it in the comments. I would love to learn more about this case, if there is more. I'm just heartbroken for her family and friends. She was just about to start an amazing life and everything was taken away with just the question mark. They don't know what happened and there's no closure there, and that really breaks my heart. So I will leave any information regarding how to contact the police and Crime Stoppers below. Please do if you have any information at all. So that is all I have for you today, guys. I'd love to know which of the theories you believe is most plausible and seems most accurate to you and why, down in the comments. And go give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more. We will be covering missing persons, strange disappearances, homicides, strange stories in general. I've got a lot more coming up for you, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.